Hi, Kofi. It's really lovely to see you today. Thanks so much for joining me for a chat. I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to learn more about you, your career journey, and your perspectives on coaching, actually, as well. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, and great to see you as well. Again, I know how busy you are and how it is in the run up to the festive period. So yeah, lovely that we can make time for the conversation.
Yes, these things are really important. So it'd be really good to know a little bit about you, a bit about your career journey, things that are important to you, just to help us get to know you a bit better.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Kofi Kyei. Originally hailing from Ghana, born in the UK, and the Che is Kyei, but phonetically it's Che, Chay. So that's hence the name Che Executive Coaching to make it a bit easier for the
Mm.
non-Ghanaians amongst us to
Ah,
understand.
okay.
And then in terms of my career journey, I think I won't start from the very beginning, but I graduated from economics and economic history um, at university with a view to just having a more business orientated degree that I could choose from, but didn't really know what I wanted to do. So initially went into publishing sales, and then from there met someone who encouraged me, a recruiter actually, who encouraged me to look at recruitment as a way to use the same skills that I had learned, but maybe find more reward and fulfillment by helping people find new roles. So that was me. Off I went and spent the last 20 years or so in various talent acquisition roles, with my last role being as an in-house executive search partner for a FTSE 100 organization where I had the opportunity to work with leaders, understanding their aspirations and goals for usually their team development, succession planning, that sort of thing, before making the switch to coaching.
Wow. Wow. So what a journey from economics to coaching. For me, they feel quite different, using very different parts of the brain. Um,
Sure.
what motivated you to study economics?
I enjoyed, well, it was economics along with economic history, and history is one of my favorite subjects, something I
Ah,
have a passion for in terms of understanding where we've been and where
mm,
we're capable of getting to. And I think it relates quite well with coaching in the
mm,
sense of sometimes, when you're working with a client and they're stuck in some way, shape, or form, if you take them back to their past, they can see
mm,
how amazing things have happened for them, but they
mm,
haven't happened overnight.
mm,
But also when you draw on references from impressive and inspirational people historically and what
mm,
they've endured. I think about the journey of people like Nelson Mandela, for example. In terms of 27 years or so in solitary confinement and then coming out and talking about love and unity, and it blows my mind because if you lock me up for 27 years, I don't know I'm coming up with the same things. I really don't. But it shows that capacity for human adaptability and to reach higher levels of awareness, love, and responsibility more generally. So there are some synergies, and
mm.
of course, economics and money isn't the be all and end all, but it does make for opportunities and support development. So there are some tenuous links that I draw between the choice of study and where I've ended up, really.
Yeah, and actually, one of the things I found over the years, I've been coaching nearly 20 years now, and the people who are successful in the end in coaching are the ones who understand the business aspect of it as well as the
Mhm.
wanting to help people and change their lives.
Yeah.
So if you can have that sort of handle on economics or finances or however you want to think about it, or that
Good.
business aspect, it holds you in good stead.
Absolutely.
And these things do sit together. I think that sometimes people think, well, if I'm helping, it's never about the money, but actually you need the finances to help you do more helping. So yeah,
100%.
these things
100%.
are really important.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my daughter yesterday on the way back
Mm,
from her dance class, and we were talking about how money doesn't equate to happiness. And she said something quite insightful at 10. She's like, yeah, I know, Dad, I know what you say, it doesn't, but just try having no money and then wanting
mm,
to do things and being, homeless on the streets. And I said, look, I agree, it makes the journey easier, but always remember that the person makes the money doesn't make the person. And she's like,
mm.
hmm. I get that. I get that.
Ah, very nice. Oh, sounds like some good daddy-daughter conversations taking place. And
Yeah, I love that.
I've got to ask you, actually, as a coach, how do you resist coaching your family members or your children? I think it's one of the things that I remember when I was early in my coaching, I kept on
Mm,
trying to coach my husband, and it started really annoying him. It's like, don't coach me.
yeah,
I just want to have a conversation. Or is it a
yeah.
good thing, do you think, to coach your family and your children? What do you think?
I think it's difficult. It's almost as if once you see something, a way of being, it's very hard to switch it off. Um,
Mm,
I think what I have taken from the experience of becoming a coach and sort of studying the diploma and the certificate that I did last year with the Academy of Executive Coaches is holding space and
mhm,
asking questions. And I think those two things are powerful elements that I'm embedding more and more in my conversations with my children, but also with friends and family, because
mm,
having spent so long, you know, in the consulting role where I would like to think I was listening, but actually I was listening really to respond and solve a
mm,
problem according to the
mm,
narrative that was in my head as the person was speaking.
mm,
Um, I reflecting on it as I've now, I realize that often you hold space for people, it gives them the opportunity to go to a deeper level to really
mm,
uncover, you know, that I think in the Zoud model they talk about the elephant in the room, and practicing that in coaching in that safe space of my diploma, but also utilizing that with the coachees that I have, and just probing a little bit more about, you know, is there anything else, or what else is that, and why is that important to you? Just to get a deeper understanding has really led to some incredible conversations. So I think those things have certainly showed up, and I've got to say, like I have a really rich relationship with my children now, more so as a result of not giving them the dad TED talk all the time in terms of this is my opinion and this is how you should do things, and really directing, but sort of leading them to understand the resourcefulness that they've got, as
mm,
uncomfortable as it is for me, because it means
mhm,
they then have their opinions, which may be contrary to mine. But at times we found really wonderful ways to work the weekends out together, you know, in terms of what we'll do and how we do it, where I'm stuck, you know, I'm like, I've got to be in three places at once. I don't know how this is going to work. What do you think? And they
mm,
come up with some really wonderful ideas about, well, the eldest is 15 now. He's like, well, if I take myself here and then you do this with this one, and then you could pick me up, but I could go here, and then, you know, so
mm,
we co-create in
mm,
those solutions. So I do find aspects of coaching does come into our relationship from a parenting style.
Great. That sounds good. And it sounds like they're creative. And children can always remind us, they can always remind us that there's more than one way. Their
Yeah,
the infinite creativity and playfulness,
yeah,
that they have can remind us actually we don't have to be stuck or fixed, and we
mm,
don't have to do the things that we've always done. So, yeah, it's good to
yeah.
tap into them, and maybe they're coaching you a little bit as well.
No, 100%, 100%, because they bring that uh, pureness, you know, in terms of the playfulness, but also the creativity of literally, what, well, why not? Why can we do this? And sometimes I find the resistance of, well, well, no, that's not what I want to do. But then when I sit with it, I realize that it is a possibility that can be adopted, and that relates to coaching in, you know, individuals, you know, and also in organizations. If we bring our best selves to the table authentically, we can find solutions to problems or challenges that we didn't think were possible before, you know. So
Absolutely. So tell me about the moment, I don't know if it was a moment or a pivotal time that took you on this coaching road where you said, actually, I'm going to change, my career path and I'm going to take this path now. Tell me how that happened. Was it a moment? Was it an iterative process? It would be good to understand.
yeah, I think it was iterative. And I
Mm,
think what I've come to realize is that everything that has happened from my choice of degree through to the roles that I've had, the experiences I've had working at various organizations with different leaders, have all been almost like a cumulative drip, 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 drip in
mm,
that bucket, you know, much like you'd find
mm,
at a water park. And then eventually the
mm,
bucket tips over.
mm,
Um,
mm,
I, I, what there was a conversation that I had with a senior leader in my last firm where he expressed to me that, I see you being a leader, a CEO of something. I don't understand what you're doing,
Mm,
just almost playing small with your talents.
mm,
And I couldn't quite grasp that at the time. And he said, you'll figure it out. But from here on in, every time we speak, because we had a mentoring arrangement, I'm going to ask you what you're doing towards that. And it's just remember that God sometimes draws straight lines with crooked sticks. And I just sort of
mm, mm,
puzzled, thinking, okay, fine.
mm.
And then I read a book last year, which was called Tuesdays with Maury. Have you ever read that one?
No.
Ah, I think 227 odd pages, and
Mm,
it's a gentleman called Mitch Albom, an American, who finds out that his favorite professor at university is dying. And so every
mm,
Tuesday he flies to go and sit with him to just learn from his life experiences, the things that he wanted to do, has done, any regrets. And there was this one line where Maury, who's the person who's dying, says that when I felt the most alive is when I've been giving. For me,
mm,
giving is living. And
mm,
that line just took me almost like, the Marvel movies when it starts and you just see the flicker of
mm,
motion and it's almost like a flashback. And I remembered all the times that I've helped people, all the times that I've done this sort of CSR event and the feeling that that brought to me. And
mm,
it then clicked that that was my purpose, to be giving with my talents back. And
mm,
when I think back to the last 10 years or so, coaching has been a part of my way of being, but more from a career transition perspective, and also informally, more so because I
mm,
wasn't paid for it. It was just through meeting people, either internally or externally, who'd applied for roles. I'd be supporting them, and they'd come to me for counsel on new opportunities they were looking for, even though they didn't work for it. But I'd find time to help them, and that was probably one of the most pivotal things that I read, which led me to think, if I could have more of those moments every day, then almost I'd be creating a little bit of heaven on earth for myself,
Love that.
being able to
Yes.
do that and see people and progressing. And then, yeah, going through a bit of a journey myself personally and finding the support from a therapist, but a personal trainer, I realized that if I wanted to go fast in life, just do it on my own. Don't
Mm,
ask any questions, don't seek any feedback. Off
mm,
I go, take action. But if I really wanted to go further, then collaboration was going to be central to that, because you have
mm,
people who have dedicated themselves to supporting in those various ways. And I really benefited from that. So it's been a cumulative journey to this point,
mm.
essentially.
Great. And what enabled you to hear the drips or to bring the drips together and to make it happen? Because there are so many people, and some of whom you will coach, I think, who will be saying, I really want to, I hear the calling to do
Mm,
something else.
mm,
I read that book and I heard it and oh my goodness, it spoke to me, but they still don't take the step.
mm.
What do you think has enabled you to take the step, the leap, however you would like to think about it, in that direction when some people find it, they just don't, or they find that, yeah, impossible or difficult?
That's a really good question. For me, it's two things. I think it comes from starting with why. And
Mm,
Simon Sinek, who wrote the book,
mm,
start with the why. And the second aspect is listening to God for me. And
mm,
I view that God is both immanent and eminent. So within us, but also outside of us. And the journey I've been on over the last 2 years has led me to not just fire away with this endless to-do list of tasks that I just do and then get to the weekend and go out partying if I or spend time with my family, all of that stuff. It's really sitting still and allowing that sense of God within me to come to the fore. So the subconscious then becomes conscious. And I realized when I asked myself, why am I here and what do I want to be my legacy? and therefore what gives me meaning in life, it was tied back to that moment where giving is living. And then it became an exploration of, well, what would that look like for you? And that then led me to think about starting where I am, using what I have, and doing what I can to
Mm,
then build a future that I hoped would be sustainable, but also be rewarding insofar as being able to give back. So it's listening to God, but also asking why I'm here and what do I want to do with the time I've got. Because as we advance, it happens to us all. We've got more years
mm,
behind us than we've got ahead of us. And so
mm.
for me, I didn't tick the reincarnation option in my religious choices. And so I'm here for now, and I really want to make the rest of my days count for as long as I've got them, really.
Right. Wow. So, thinking about the clients that you work with and the clients that you wish to serve and support, are they people on a similar journey of thinking about pivoting their career or having an awakening or something else? Tell me more about who do you like to serve to help? Where do you think you're placed to support people and
Mm.
when who need or want a coach?
Yeah, so looking at the clients that I've got so far, I'd say 65% are individuals that are on a journey. They feel the calling to do something. They even know what that is, and they don't know how to get there in terms of the steps to make that pivot a reality, or they don't know, but they just have this increasing discomfort. So the pull towards something is greater than the pull to stay in what they are. And that can be down to a number of things. COVID obviously gave us all a chance to reflect and appreciate this sort of preciousness and delicate nature of life. And then the other 35% are individuals who are performing and leading, however, are aware that with support, much like my view on collaboration, they can achieve so much more. So they're on a journey to really enhance what it is that they do through usually they want accountability, but fresh perspectives brought from themselves. Because, you know, as we do in coaching, it's about raising the level of awareness, but then also the personal responsibility you take for change. And to answer your question about the type of people that I work with, I'm in the UK and I'm a big believer in inclusivity. However, I think I'm really well positioned to support the global majority, but also
Mm,
women, you know, navigate the corporate environment, having been, what I would consider an outsider on the inside,
mm,
primarily within financial services, but it's transferable what I do because I think I get it. I get what it is to show up at work and maybe mask your true identity, feel want of fitting in and not sticking out. I get what it is to perhaps not necessarily always, it's been rare, but not necessarily always have a fair shake of the stick, or to have the limiting beliefs that culturally are imposed on us coming up. Because if I look at one hand, my mum, working class, doesn't work now, but worked in hospitals as a cleaner, and I went and offices, and I went with her on her jobs, saw how she was treated and seen, and what she imparted on to me was, don't make a fuss, just work hard, work hard, work hard. Whereas my
mm,
dad, on the other hand, is a big believer in where you is not where you end up. So it has 4 degrees and an MBA and has been in leadership roles and very
mm,
much community focused. He was always very aspirational in the way that he felt education could level the playing field. So there were conflicts within me in
mm,
terms of that paradox of just don't make any waves and also
mm,
believe
mm,
in bigger. And you find that with people who are maybe children of immigrants where the environment they parents came to was not as welcoming as we have it now, and
mm,
therefore there are limiting beliefs that are hardwired into you from your childhood, which I feel that I can help explore. So that kind of covers a bit of sort of both angles of your question, really, in terms of the type of clients, etc.
Thank you so much for sharing that and sharing a bit of your own experience, which I'm sure will resonate with many people who are watching. And I guess there's a question for me about your style or your approach to coaching. You talked about potentially learning from history. You've talked about lived experience and who you can potentially help. Would you be able to share a little bit more about your approach?
Yeah, so it's evolving. So when I
Mm,
took the diploma, I was like, right, I'll get a bag of tools and this will
mm,
be my style. I'll be a coactive or a grow coach. And
mm,
it's not hard and fast. It's
mm,
really whatever is in service of the coachee, because 8 billion people, everyone's going to have a different way that they
mm,
approach learning, from
mm,
visual to audio styles. So I would describe it as I coach leading with love. So
mm,
it is loving and supportive challenge and exploration of where you are,
mm,
using my ability to connect and empathize with people that comes from my faith, but also
mm,
exploring Buddhism, Islam, Stoicism. That's been a huge help to me, but also logotherapy. So that comes from sort of Frankl's view around, man or person's search for meaning and purpose in their life. And what I didn't realize that I had the capacity for was to be quite creative, and playful in the approaches that I take. So I will use breath work, visualization, various techniques, depending on what shows up with the
mm,
client and where they want to go, just to help them unlock their potential. But above all, it is leading with that love that we are all on a journey in
mm,
life, and we are all going to have faced, uh, are facing challenges. So in a way, we're in the same storm, but in
mm,
different boats. And at times,
mm.
riding the waves, and it's okay. And at times, the water ingress from the tsunami waves are so aggressive that you don't know which way is north, south. So in those moments, just having that love and that support to help you find that resilience within yourself is something that I'm really pleased to be able to give.
Wow, lovely. Thank you. The idea of your coaching approach evolving and being eclectic and being focused on the client really resonates with me. I absolutely, in the beginning, we are given models and approaches, and then we bring our own signature presence to it. We bring ourselves
Mm,
to it, don't we? Um, and and I think that's why there's more than enough coaches and more than enough clients to go around, because you find chemistry with the person who resonates
yeah.
with you and who can help you navigate in the way that you need to. So
Mm,
yeah, I really love that. So my final question to you really is around International Men's Day. It was on the
mm,
19th of November this year, and the theme was around positive role models for men. Um, in my experience of coaching, haven't found many male coaches who are from the global majority in the UK,
sure.
particularly ones who are also qualified coaches. So I'm wondering if you have found role models in the coaching community, positive role models in the coaching space, but also just what do you think? Yeah, what do you think men need in society today? Just any reflections on that?
Oh,
I know it's
juicy.
big. I know it's big.
It's really big. No, but I think I can get to it. It's something that I've thought about. From a coaching perspective, one person that stands out for me, and there are a few, definitely in the UK, that I've come across and that I follow, but it would be Martin Seeley. I don't know if you
All
came across
right.
Martin.
Yes, yes, he's part of our diverse executive coach directory. We're really pleased
Oh,
to have Martin as a member. So yeah, he's amazing.
yeah. So
Mm.
so Martin is actually my supervisor.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Because he's someone that is inspirational and that I aspire to be more
Mm,
like, having got to know him over the
mm,
last little while. And, he's highly experienced from a corporate perspective, also has
mm,
an MBA, also
mm,
is, I think, at least dual accredited at a higher level than, sort of the entry standard. And just conversations with Martin are just powerful.
mm,
He is a master at really holding the space and asking really insightful and impactful questions of me. Um, and so I'm excited about working with him and learning from him around the journey that he's been on to become as successful and established as he has. And I think energy doesn't lie. You know, language is primitive. You
Mm,
could say what someone wants to hear, but
mm,
when I speak to Martin, you know, I really feel his energy and his collaborative spirit in that he doesn't see it as I must protect everything.
mm,
He is a real giver of time and resource to really help me be my best, and I'm grateful for him in that in the capacity that we sort of are working together. Um, so that's one, and then on what is it that men need? I think it is a few things. I think it's the knowledge that it is okay to be traveling through life and not have all the answers, and to be vulnerable and to not need to stand up to an impression of what a man is that society portrays. And I say this because I think for some reason, from a very young age, probably from the playground actually, we are conditioned to believe that showing your feelings can be weakness. And
mm,
I've experienced, you know, firsthand the problematic impact of keeping things inside and not sharing how you feel. And it's probably no surprise that suicide is probably one of the biggest um, killers of men, because at times, you know, the bucket is full and you get into that negative spiral and feel that you've nowhere to turn, when there are plenty of people that will be willing to support, nurture you back to your best if only you let them in. But
mm,
because you think that may be misconceived, you might not. And for me, when I share what I share on LinkedIn, I do so. Initially, I didn't, but I do so because the number of people that reach out to me privately, but also on the things that I share, to say, oh my God, I never knew you were going through this. I'm going through pretty much the same thing. Or
mm.
you've really given me strength to talk about something that's been bothering me. It's been really heartening, and in a way gives permission for others to be vulnerable, to share, and in essence be authentic, be who you are rather than who you think you need to be. And in all that I do, it's really to drive us towards that place where we can be ourselves, no matter your sex, shade, size, shape, creed, whatever sexual orientation. Being yourself and feeling you can be in the safe space that hopefully the future brings us, I think will allow us to just find such magical ways of collaborating, connecting, but also creating, that if I don't get to heaven, I'll be just really happy because we've done it. We've created
Mm.
a little heaven on earth, as I referenced earlier on.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful point to end on. And I want to ask you one quick question, because those watching the video will have seen a little puff of smoke or steam coming up. I want to make sure you haven't got a cigar on your desk. If you want to just share with everybody what is it that's been flying up? Is it a hot drink or is it something else?
No, so I have you're gonna out me now. So this is my little Buddha from
Ah,
Thailand.
lovely, lovely.
I have
Okay,
some incense. So periodically through the day before conversations, it burns with. I've got some different incense here, and
lovely.
it's just reminding me to remain balanced. I think we talked about
Yes,
it before we started,
yes.
and be mindful and enjoying the aroma of that. You know, keeps that
Mm,
sense of smell front and center of my mind, but also gives me that sense of calm, so that I can do what I need to do when I'm having these conversations or with clients, really.
lovely. That's great. And a perfect way to end, thinking about calm and balance. So if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way?
Sure. So if they want to get hold of me, my website, I have a connect section there, which is www.cheexecutivecoaching.com. I'm also on LinkedIn and active there. So if people want to connect there, or and through the connect page on my website, you can send me an email. I'm always keen to hear from people who, you know, may want some advice or just want to sort of check in if there's too much water in that boat at the moment. So yeah, thank you. That'd be great.
Wonderful. It's been such a pleasure to speak with you. I look forward to seeing how your coaching journey continues and really looking forward to hearing about all the amazing people that you impact in the future. Thanks so much for your
Thank you.
time today.
Thank you.